Well, two completely different performances, really. Friday night, I thought we used the ball really well. Tonight, we looked anxious with the ball. And I think a consequence of the threat that you know they possess if you turn it over, which was on display a couple of times. But tonight, the defensive performance collectively and the resilience and the spirit collectively and some of the individual defensive performances were absolutely outstanding. So I'm probably more proud of tonight because we've played, I think, the best team in the world, full team out, pose you all sorts of different problems that individually you've got to stand up to. And we've come out with a really creditable result. And yeah, we can look at areas that we can improve and would need to improve. But again, we've found so many positives in terms of players who've performed at this level for the first time or nearly the first time in the likes of Maguire. And it's not going to get much tougher than it was for them tonight. So they will gain huge confidence. And I think as a group, what they've given will stand them in really good stead moving forward. Yeah, I thought they were all excellent. I mean, Joe has been given the man of the match, and rightly so. I think his decision making. We know his athleticism is a real asset, but his calmness in the face of dealing with high quality movement, high quality through passes that he had to read. I think John Stones in the two games has really shown the defensive attributes that he's looked to really mature, controlled the line, has taken pride in his defending as well as being calm in possession, and I think that's a significant step for him. And Harry has also been a real plus. I think started a little anxiously today, but then his use of the ball and he grew in confidence and grew into his game. So they're not going to face more difficult tests than they've had in the two matches that we've had. They've come through them with 2 clean sheets. I think the system has worked well. Collectively, we've defended well. We've limited. I mean, look, they had control of the game tonight, no question about that, and they were the most dangerous team. But we've limited both teams to very few clear-cut chances. And, would have probably been an injustice, but could have pinched the game tonight with the chances at the end. So from tonight, lots for us to improve with the ball. But for me, really positive signs. And it's one thing we could put young players in and go and get beaten by 4, and it doesn't really, you're then questioning the decision. They've really stepped up in the 2 matches, and the learning will have been enormous, but they can also take a huge amount from both occasions.
Next question.
Gareth, you held 2 of the best teams in the world, but you didn't manage to score against them. Is there any concern about not being able to score past such teams?
Well, look, they are the best 2 teams in the world because they've built those teams over a period of time. The experience in the Brazilian team today is way ahead of ours. We've got Dominic Solanke come on. I don't think he started a Premier League game. So we're having to approach things differently, but we're building, and we've gone a different route. Brazil are pretty close to the finished article. They're a settled team. They're an outstanding team. It's going to take some team to stop them next summer. We're at a different point on our journey, but we will take huge belief from what we've done, and what has been could have been an incredibly difficult week with everybody that we lost. I think has really been a positive, and I think and hope the English public have seen that These boys have given absolutely everything. They've played with pride. They've played with passion. I would imagine, I hope that there's become a little bit more of a connection. It feels there's become a little bit more of a connection between the supporters and the team. Well, I think against Germany we were more than just a counter-attack. We built well, we played through midfield, and we created chances through good play. Today was different. We just couldn't. We couldn't get the one or two passes, particularly in the first half. We couldn't get the one or two passes to get out of the press. They attack with such numbers that when they turn the ball over, they're around you and they press aggressively, and we couldn't connect those first couple of passes to get out and retain the ball. We did that a little bit better in the second half, but as I say, I felt we were anxious with the ball. And frankly, when you play teams of that quality, at times you are going to have to defend, you are going to have to soak it up. And we are a team that can counter-attack. So, I don't think it's a disgrace to have to do that. We'd like to have had more controlled possession in the game, but today we weren't able to. And I think we can improve that for definite. But you've got to have a base to build from. And, we've backed up being the best defensive record in European qualifying by keeping clean sheets against the two best teams in the world. And that gives us a start point to go forward, because I do believe we've got players who can and will score goals.
Next question.
Yeah, I think we were delighted with what Jordan did, and it was good that he had that experience, and then we were able to wrap him up and send him back as a young goalkeeper with a really positive experience. Today was important for Joe. He had to perform under some pressure because of the way that Pickford had performed, and he did that. So he knows there's competition for places with 3 or 4 of the other goalkeepers, and it's now up to what they do with their clubs over the next few months to where we go forward. If we're Jordan gave a really healthy performance, and what he does with his feet gives us something different. But he's also got things to go away and work on, and things to improve upon. He's a young player, young professional, still learning his trade. So, it's important that I keep challenging him and pushing him as well. Yeah, a problem with his back, which he has had periodically. So I think we'll be okay. Should settle down fairly quickly. But I don't expect it to be a problem. Mm. Well, I think he's just. We're going to have to give him time to build his resilience. He's had to go through that as a young player, through the growth spurts that he had. He's already played more minutes this year than he played in the whole of last season. So inevitably, there's going to be a little bit of a response to that as the season goes on. But he's way stronger now than he was a year, 2 years ago. At that time, it was very difficult for him to finish 90 minutes. On Friday, he did that comfortably and looked strong at the end. So, today's a disappointment for him to have to come off, because I think he'd already shown some really good touches within the game. But the 10 days overall have been a massive stride forward for him. And, for him and Gomez in particular at their age to have come into these games and performed as they did on such limited league experience is absolutely outstanding.
Any further questions? Okay, we'll have a short written brief for the UK paper.